Five, four, three, two, one, action. Welcome to the transmission, everyone. No se te ipsum tu es Dios. Uh, the transmission this evening has been interrupted like three or four different times. It's extremely frustrating, but it is what it is. So just keep rolling with the punches, keep your nose to the grindstone. We are having ourselves a Polaner Weissbier, which is a white beer. Should be a Pilsner. It says a Munich wheat beer imported from Germany. So should be pretty good. I'm your host for the hour, Frank Monday, broadcasting from the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, Twilight's own old Peking. Let's get into it. So a moment ago on the last transmission, a beloved viewer, one Frater Saul Smith, asked me a very serious question. He, we have a new subscriber. Thank you for that new subscriber. STM Mez subscribed to the channel. Good for that. Thank you, sir. Good for looking out. A moment ago, a guy named Smiley also subscribed to the channel. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Much love. Definitely appreciate that, y'all. Keep hitting the like buttons, keep subscribing, and definitely check me out on the coffee page, guys. It's buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. Get over there and check it out. Hit the thumbs up on my articles. I write a lot of essays throughout the month, throughout the year, not monthly. If you do sub that buy me a coffee page, one time coffee donations like $5, you'll have a lifetime membership and connection to me and the inner workings of my mind, as it were. Yeah, coffee time, motherfucker. Hey, it's Lady Paranorma. Good to see you again. Long time no see, man. Um, I've been hard at it. I've got myself a Weissbier this evening, a one from München, so it's a German beer. So möchten Sie etwas trinken? Ja, ja, Bier trinken. So yeah, I'm having myself a beer. I've got some chicken and rice. I've been missing you. Yeah. So sorry I haven't been on the Discords the last couple of days. I've been mired in the shit of work, which when you're a salaried guy, like sometimes work just takes over and you have to focus exclusively on work to the exemption of everything else, friends and families and all of that. Yeah, I've been working. So the semester started back up. I had a ton of shit. I had to get my head in the books, review all of the syllabus, the curriculum, lesson planning, just everything that's involved. And, um, when you first get into it, yeah, take your time. Nice. Very good. Yeah, when you get into it, it's all consuming. You know what that can mean. Yeah, don't worry. But recently, a beloved frater of the channel, Frater Sal, he's also a member of the Esoteric Order of Dagon. All hail the Father Dagon. All hail the Mother Hydra. Cthulhu has risen because the stars have aligned. So, welcome back, Wayfarer. I hope you're doing well. And a greetings, a humble greetings and salutations to ladies and gentlemen, everyone listening. Uh, this transmission is coming to you from the central kingdom of the celestial dragon, Twilight Zone, Old Peking, far behind the bamboo firewall. You can see it there. And we're going to talk magic and paranormal. So, Frater Sal had asked me, he said, do you think that extreme childhood trauma would help you build character, or would it cause you to have mental health problems later in life? And I think that it could real easily go either way. Like Hey, welcome to the chat, Fools and Tools. Good to see you. Much love to you, amigo or amiga, whichever the case may be. I think that it could go either way. Like, I knew when I was young that having gone through a lot of physical, mental trauma and abuse, and even very unusual situations, that I could either play the victim card constantly, either way, and both, maybe. Yeah, I don't think and both. Let me delineate and tell you why I feel that way. If I would have played the victim card and held on to that pain and suffering as a sort of badge to wear and be like, oh, well, look what happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And I saw a lot of other people doing it. I saw people benefiting from it and even suing the state. I mean, I received some hardcore shit from family, from law enforcement, from teachers, from different situations, all kinds of stuff. And each time I would rationalize in my mind, I'd be like, well, that ain't shit. I can be stronger. I can overcome that. And I would think my way through it, and it might require some crying or it might require some fucking indulging in a little bit of booze occasionally. But you had to come to terms with it face to face and face the darkness and work your way through it. I'm pretty much well beyond any part of that stage of my life anymore. And each time I overcame these obstacles that sought to upend me or put an end to me, like genuine. Um, I got in fights with dudes twice my size that beat me into a coma, uh, extreme hemorrhaging in my brain and in my eye and stuff, and all kinds of different shit, terrifying shit that that would break most people. But as I grew and became stronger and got focused on my own spiritual cultivation, I realized that it's like, wow, there isn't much that could happen in life at this point that would be more brutal or terrifying than all of the things I've already been through. And so it built up a kind of courage and bravery and resilience in life that when shit goes wrong, like petty shit, you're like, that ain't shit. And you don't sweat the small shit and realize that everything's small shit at the end of the day. Like this microphone about to go out again. And so let me get some feedback and let me see if I can switch over to a microphone with power. Let me know if I lose volume, guys. If I lose volume, let me know if this might end it. This might put a fucking end to the volume right there. I don't know. Is that working? Can you guys hear me still? I'll take a bite of my food while I wait to get the feedback loop. Fools and Tools says you have to walk through it. Your traumas are your strengths. This is a convo for another time, in depth. I can give clarity. Clarity. Yep, I can hear you. Okay, good. I hope this microphone works for a little while because it's fucking annoying that these little motherfuckers um, only last 10 minutes at a time. Then I got to constantly recharge one while I'm using one. So, to illustrate my point a little better, I look forward to talking to you about that, Lady Paranormal. Frau Schadenfreude. Um, sehr gut. Um, yeah, a lot of people, and again, I think there's a huge difference between working through your childhood trauma and overcoming it and getting spiritual initiation and then dealing with those demons, face to face and defeating them. I think there's something to be said for that. In Tao, we say that yeah, enjoy your coffee. I love coffee too. Hot black coffee, good stuff. In the Taoist tradition, we say that if the individual, if the single person has no hardships in life, most oftentimes it ruins them completely. They engage in too much indulgence and laxitude, and they become lethargic, and it just ruins the person. And I could give you a clear example of this, but I'm not going to call anybody out here on live television. I'll just let it be said that when you have many hardships in life, it makes you strategize and it makes your thoughts deep. Now, there's danger in that, in having too many hardships. Sometimes it can cause great depression, which might lead, to bad things. But it can also make you too cynical in life. Like I've seen a lot of people with the attitude of once bitten, twice shy, and they become way too cynical and they don't trust anyone. And he who does not trust enough will never be trusted. Fools and Tools says, I feel like, don't worry, chat's really moving, guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe, all that happy horse shit. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Money. Pull something in the tip jar, guys. Um, I feel like every day is a healing process. As well as get triggered, we need to hear new techniques and new strategies. You'll never heal every day becomes a healing process. Yeah, but at stages in life, there's actually, in the system of spiritual cultivation, there are times, special times, when the energy moves back along the, what is that called, memory lane, and goes down memory lane like a river of spirit, and seeks out those areas where there may have been some of those traumas, and seeks to heal them. And when you undergo a spiritual metamorphosis, you can sit down and do path working, and you can actually go back through all the trauma in your life and heal it much faster than the average individual. Like just a couple of sessions of deep path working are enough to totally eliminate those things from your psyche. And I say that because I know I've done it. And new traumas will arise, don't get me wrong. Like since the Coovies and the old jibber jab, five fucking people, some of the closest, not the closest. I mean, I still have other people in my life, but some of the closest people in my life were taken by that. The blood clot. I'm not gonna fucking talk about it because YouTube just give you a community strike for even telling about real experience. They're so fucking. They want you to wear the goddamn slave muzzle and just keep your fucking mouth shut, right? But we shouldn't do that. We should be able to testify. And it is what it is. I mean, part of it is speculation, but good God, that level of coincidence, three of them, one was 50, two were 47, and one 75, right? So 75, we might not necessarily attribute it to the old jibber jab, right? But the other ones, good God in heaven, man. I mean, there's some coincidence there that ain't lining up right, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, every day's a work in progress. Um, Fools and Tools, dyslexic. Be right back. Yeah, see you in a minute. When you walk, 100% when you walk. Um, I can't read that. Please don't come in the chat, guys, speaking some demonic, pagan, barbarous, savage, aboriginal tongue. We only speak a Christian language here, which is the English language, right? If you speak Swahili or uh, Timbuktu or something like that, just wander off into another chat. Go speak Swahili with the Swahili speaking motherfuckers. This is we don't tolerate demonically possessed beings that can't speak the American language. Canadians okay too. I don't hate the Canadians. They may become the 51st state, and so I shouldn't hold it against the Canadians too much, even though you guys do talk funny. Um, Somehow you perverted a beautiful British accent and made it just sound like absolute fucking dog shit. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for you, and I'm sorry for the shame that it brings you each day when you have to speak with a Canadian accent. Uh, I genuinely feel bad for you. That's okay. You know, it's a bastardized tongue. I think it's mostly like the French influence on you guys is that you're French Canadian, a lot of you. And so as a result, like you wound up in this twilight zone of the English language. Like you don't sound as rustic, and even the Australians sound better than you guys. And I thought Australians spoke the worst possible variety of the English language. But then I started like hearing Canadian people speak, and I was like, oh, good God, y'all, really? Really? That's the way you guys fucking talk up there? Or maybe it has something to do with being trapped indoors 9 months out of the year, right? You guys only get sunlight like 3 months out of the year or something, right? So Fools and Tools says, what do you think about the Australian accent? Thank you. Yeah, like in my scale of accents, I always held the British accent because I grew up on Monty Python and other forms of, John Cleese and other forms of British humor. So as Americans and listening to British humor as kids and stuff, I was raised in the 70s and 80s. We always felt like, the British accent was up here. That's OG, right? And then below that was the American accent, and specifically, America has so many accents that we would think the Californian West Coast accent, like mine, is the most hardcore, the most gangster. And then, like maybe your Boston, your New England accent, that's more akin to the original OG British accent, right? And then below that would be the Australian accent, right? That would be the next tier down. Like, like because you go from California out to Australia, you just keep going west. If you're coming from the United Kingdom and you go all the way around the globe, and then below that even would be an Indian accent, right? So Australian would be number three in the three great dialects of English, right? You'd have British, American, Australian, and those are the only ones I knew until I heard Indian. And so an Indian accent really isn't that bad. It's quite lyrical, and they talk like, "Hey, welcome to the telephone call. Go ahead and get your bank card out. Put in your credit card numbers. You need to send me $10,000, motherfucker." Right? So that wasn't so bad either. That would rank fourth. And then after the Indian accent would be your Chinese or Japanese style accent, right? So like, for example, welcome to Happy Panda. You want egg roll? I have egg roll, big egg roll. My egg roll bigger than ever got egg roll. And so that would be the fifth. Then I heard the Canadian accent for the first time in like my mid 30s, and my head almost exploded. I thought most English, since it's a Christian language, would sound akin to being in the heavenly kingdom. But for some reason, there's a sycophantic, groveling, apple polisher, toady element to the Canadian accent that I don't know what it is. It would take a linguistic expert to explain it, but there's something horribly, horribly wrong with the Canadian accent. So nothing I can do about it. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. Yeah, I can even, and a New Zealand accent is not the same as an Australian accent. There's a very clear distinction between the two. Kiwis, I can barely understand a single fucking word a Kiwi says. And that's a far cry from you guys. Like I imagine like in Australia and New Zealand, like New Zealand probably looks up to Australia like, wow, how do you guys learn how to speak English so well? You know, like they wish they could speak as clear as the Australians. And it's not that the Canadians can't be understood, it's that the fucking canter, the tone, The sound of their enunciation and pronunciation of the English language is the most fucking irritating, like gears grinding against each other. Just something horribly wrong with it. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. I'll try to learn to tolerate you Canadians a little more, okay? Since you're going to be the 51st state, I'm going to have to embrace you. I'm going to have to let go of my biases and prejudices against you. I mean, you can't call it racism because they're all white people, you know? They're all sons and daughters of God. So are we still connected, guys? I lost the chat. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up and sub the channel, man. We're having rice and chicken tonight. Chicken fried rice. And this is some of the best fucking chicken I've ever had. It's grilled all white meat chicken with a gravy, like a black pepper gravy. Is so fucking delicious. Unbelievable. And this came out of the cafeteria at the fucking the place where I work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bon appetit to you as well, fools and tools. What I didn't know is they have like different levels of food in our cafeteria. They have they have a 10 kwai lunch, 10 kwai, which is approximately like $1.50. Okay, no worries. I see you, Lady Schadenfreude. Frau Schadenfreude, or Lady Paranorma. I see you out there. They have a 10 kwai meal, which is approximately like $1.50 US, like $1 British pounds, you know, I don't, maybe like $1 something Australian. And I realized they have like a 20 kwai meal, which would be like $3. And then they have a 30 kwai meal, which is like a $5 meal. And it's totally fucking different. Like I had been eating the 10 kwai meal for the last 5 years, and I didn't even know they had this because everybody's eating the 10 kwai meal. I'll eat the 10 kwai meal, but it's absolute dog shit compared to this. From now on, I'm upgrading. I'm going with the 30 kwai meal at least twice a week. At least twice a week. So imagine that. I make something comparable to an American salary, and I'm paying anywhere from $1.50 to $5 a day for lunch. I think I got the fucking cheat codes, guys. This pack of smokes cost me about $1.25. What are you guys paying for smokes in Australia right now? $10 a pack, right? This tall boy, what are like a 20-ounce beer from Germany cost me $1.50. What would you pay for a beer like that today in Australia or America, right? Yeah, basically 90 cents for a pack of smokes, man. 90 cents for cigarettes. You pay 90 cents for cigarettes? So yeah, I got the cheat codes, guys. $1.50, $1.50. That's $3 for my smokes, and my beer, and then approximately $5 for like two meals. I have this for lunch and I'm having it for dinner. So $10 for a full day. I get a good at certain place, $10, $2, but in the shops and service stations, you look at a five packet. What? I can't fucking read that, man. Of 20. Okay, that's not too bad though. At Fools and Tools, you're in Ausland, Australia. Nearly $50. 10 to $12 a pack, man. That's big money. Like I said, come over here, you $1 a pack. But yeah, you know, everything's based on what you can pay. So everything in the economy is based on what they think you can pay for it. Yeah, again, so working through that childhood trauma, I think that you have to release it and you have to grow through it and then take a deep breath, hold for a minute, and embark on that profound journey, that enhances your ability to achieve success in any chosen endeavor. You can let all those hard knocks destroy you, or you can let them build the resilience that makes you a more powerful person inwardly. All the service stations at the stops are $50, but if you know who to know, it's 10 to 12 bucks under the counter. It's $50 for a pack of fucking smokes? They obviously don't want you smoking, right? That's more than $1 a stick. That's $2.50 per cigarette. Wow. That's fucking unreal. That is unreal. Yeah, that's some serious tax right there. I couldn't handle that shit. And you guys talk about democracy and freedom. Democracy is demand in the marketplace. So if you truly had democracy and everybody wanted to buy cigarettes, they would make cigarettes as cheap as possible. You think they give any kind of fuck about your health? You think that we're taxing, so it's a healthcare system. Bullshit. They're taxing you because they don't want you to have fucking things that are useful in your life, like some decent tobacco. And then they put you under so much goddamn stress that you can hardly survive anyway. Yeah, I can imagine. You don't got to tell me any of your secrets here, man. I know what's up. When we were young, we would drive across the Mexican border to get a carton of cigarettes for $10. You could get a carton of Marlboros, 10 packs of 20 each for $10 in Mexico. And in the US, a carton was already up to like, I don't know, $50 or something. And so that was like in the 90s, right? The 1990s. They were 376, something like that a pack in the 90s. So it's nothing new, they've been doing it in America too. They have a monopoly on it. That's why they put a monopoly on certain items. Cannabis, tobacco, alcohol. I mean, how hard is it to fucking make decent alcohol at your house for basically for free? It's because they want to limit the circulation of those products. Yeah, I believe that. Watch out for that autocorrect spelling, right? That doesn't help you at all. God, that is some good fucking chicken, man. I could eat that shit all week long. And sometimes they make some really good beef too. And the other day they had some really nice ribs. And I was like, man, I've been missing out. I've been over here eating with the fucking poor folks for the last 5 years. It's time to up the ante. I should buy better cigarettes too. Like these are the El Cheapos because I fucking been smoking cheap cigarettes my whole life. Um, but you could buy some that are $10 a pack, and they really are premium. They are nice. They smell different. They taste different. They're really, really nice. But they all got the same nicotine in them, right? Fools and Tools says that he's got an ice cream truck in the '80s who come by his house and used to sell cigarettes were $2.50 a pack. Young kids in the neighborhood that are allowed to get in for sell them to anyone, right? $2.50 a pack. So when was that? In the '80s. Wow, in the '80s. I remember the '80s in Southern California, Los Angeles. Cigarettes started when I was a kid at around 50 cents a pack. And by the time I was in junior high, they were about $1 a pack. You could still find some for 99 cents a pack, but we're talking like 1987, you could still buy a pack of cigarettes for $1 in California. It wasn't until the 90s that they went up to like 250 a pack, probably mid 90s. The mid 90s, you would see a 6 pack of imported beer like Guinness or Grolsch or Heineken, something like that, was under $10, like 6.99. So basically $1 a beer, $1 bottle of beer, but they were 12-ounce bottles, not these 20-ounce cans. And a pack of cigarettes would cost you 275. So we're talking like 1995. I was in college. I graduated high school in 92. So I just dated myself. Not that I give any kind of fucks. I don't mind dating myself. You can just tell by looking at me how old I am, right? I'm not hiding anything. Uh, yeah, when I was a kid and we would go into the corner uh, convenience store or whatever, called it the liquor store, it would be mostly filled with liquor and beer. But at the front of the store, they would have comic books and candy for kids, right? So you'd have at the bottom racks, you would have candy, and then at the middle rack, you would have the comic books, and at the top rack, like right above your line of vision as a prepubescent, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By the time you were 12, you were getting up to, you're getting up to about here. That would be all the pornography. And all of it would be wide open cover shots, Cherry Magazine, High Society, penis and vagina pornography right in front of you as a kid. And that's the way they rolled. It wasn't until the mid 90s that they made them cover the pornography in store. So now you go in, it's got a sleeve over it, right? Like unless they're clothed, I think they can still show partial nudity, like breasts, nipples, stuff like that. But back when I was a kid, they had fucking penis and vagina penetration right on the fucking cover, baby. High Society, Cherry, Hustler didn't do that. You'd have to actually open a Hustler to see that. But there were certain magazines there in LA, right, that had just full on fucking X rated sex right on the cover. So I'd be down there getting my bubble gum and look up and be like, as a kid, you don't even think anything about it because you're prepubescent. You don't have any sexual arousal, right? And it's not until you get into your teens that you're like, God damn, there's been hot cock and dick and balls and all in front of me my whole life. And like, you don't even think nothing about it. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, we didn't have that in LA. Like downtown LA, you just walked in and it was all wide open, fucking dildos and uh, whatever, ball gags, gimp suits. It's all on display. There wasn't any fucking back room. The goddamn storefront was the back room. What are you talking about? Even today, you can walk down Hollywood Boulevard and they have pornographic material in the showcase windows. Um, Southern California, man, has always been Sodom and Gomorrah, you know. And here's the thing: you'd have the liquor store, then right across from that, you would have the gun store, and then right across from that, you would have the pawn shop. And so, what they were trying to encourage people to do was get drunk, buy a gun, rob your neighbor, and then pawn his shit right there at the same store. I think we lost. Uh, did we lose sound? Did we lose sound? Hello, can you still hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Of course, the sound would go out right when I started telling some interesting stories. Can you hear me? Can't hear. Can or can't? Five, five, fives, fives if you can hear. Yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, sound, no sound. How about now? Yes. I see fives in the window, but I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. All right. Hopefully you can. Hopefully. Otherwise, I'm just waving my dick in the wind, right? I'm waving my dick in the wind. If it all goes right, I'll be in your arms tonight, waving my dick in the wind. Okay, good. You can't hear me. So, like I was saying, my father called it manufactured crime. So, at every intersection in Los Angeles County, when I was a kid, they had it set up four corners. One corner would be the liquor store, the porn store, and the liquor store and the porn store. And then on the next corner would be the pawn shop and the gun shop. And then on the next corner would be, I don't fucking remember, something else, right? But everything was set up in that way. And then there would always be a dedicated, like, CIA pimp hanging out selling cocaine and, marijuana and pimping girls in the local hotel. Oh, on the other corner would be a like hotel, like hotel motel, right? Like a dirt cheap, um, what do they call it these days? What do the kids call them? Trap house. And I think on the third corner there would be a Christian church, right? So you'd have a Christian church on one corner. The next corner would be porn shop, liquor stores, and then the next corner would be like the pawn shop, gun shop, and then the next corner would be like the dairy, like the milk store, cheese grocery store, or whatever. And then the next corner would be the Christian church. And every intersection was set up that way. And the pimp would always hang out in front of the liquor store, right? And because you go in, you get your liquor as you're coming out, be like, hey, you want crack rock? You want a little something, something? You want a little good, good? You know? And you need some special booking? I'll put you up in the hotel. And my dad said he said that because my dad was a naval intelligence guy, right? He wasn't a stupid man. And he said that he had read the CIA white papers that they intentionally set up all the poorer neighborhoods this way. You would never see that shit in a wealthy neighborhood. It was all the middle, lower, and poorer neighborhoods. If you lived in a middle or upper middle class, they didn't have none of that shit. You'd have to drive into the hood to find all that. But they had it set up that way. And here's the thing, I grew up in a upper middle class neighborhood, but I could walk to the hood, right? I lived a mile from Compton and a mile of North Long Beach. I was on the border of Compton and Long Beach. And so I could walk up into Compton and see what was going on, what's up with the brothers, you know? And they used to say, you're crazy. You crazy white boy. You know where you're at. Grape Street Crips, baby. Insane Crip gang. And I'd be like, the fuck? I don't know what the fuck none of that means, yo. They'd be like, don't you know you're white? Am I? Fuck. What does that matter? And they give you the beat down for being white. In fact, in our neighborhoods, black dude wander through or something, or maybe we had a couple black folks living in the neighborhood. Nobody bothered them ever. I never saw any white people being biased or racist towards black folks. But if you were a white dude and you walked through a black neighborhood, Mexican neighborhood, Samoan neighborhood, Chinese neighborhood, you's gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna get jumped every fucking time. And that's why it baffled me that, like, as the narrative unfolded, they started telling us in school, yeah, you guys are guilty of racism, you have white privilege, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, motherfucker, have you ever been outside? Have you ever walked through any colored neighborhood? Do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? And it's like, nah, these guys writing books, they don't know shit about anything. They got their head straight up their ass, living in an ivory tower, never lived in the world before. and just writing down lies, basic lies, and social engineering. And so reality is far different from what's written in books and what you hear about on television. Do you think a bunch of white kids were rolling hard into black neighborhoods to beat them up and steal their shoes and steal their bicycles and steal their skateboards? No, never happened. But you can fucking bet your ass they'd ride into our neighborhoods and steal our shit. Drive-by shootings, you ever heard of that? You think it was white folks riding into the hood shooting at the Negroes? No. So everything you've learned is entirely backwards, at least from my perspective, having grown up, born in the early 70s, and, and lived through the worst of Los Angeles's gang wars as a teenager. As a young kid, first time I got jumped, I was 7 years old. I wandered into the Hader Apartments, the projects in, I won't tell you exactly where, but I was walking through and they just swarmed on me. It was like a sea of darkness surrounded me. And yeah, I think there were three of us and about 15 of them, and they whooped our asses. And when they were done, they said, "Now you've been jumped. You've been jumped into the Blood Kingdom." And I don't even think they were Bloods. I think they were Crips. But we got jumped and, bleeding Blood Kingdom. So yeah, fun times, and got routinely jumped all the way up into high school. It was just a routine thing. Every time you see you see one of the motherfuckers, you'd be like, head down, just keep moving, because there's gonna be some fists fucking getting thrown or guns getting pulled. So you knew how to fucking yeah, bad times. I'm not gonna recount all that though. I've already been through it. I've already made reparations for that. And I know that everything they tell you is a lie, because what they say to you in the media and what they write in your books is not the reality of what people experience. And it's not the reality that's ever played out in this world. Oh, they might have fancy black and white pictures and fancy stories, but that's all what it is. It's just fantasy. It's all fancy pants. And you got to wonder if that's a fact, and it is a fact, then what kind of agenda are they really running? All right. You ever sat down and pondered yourself that, Batman? Riddle me this, Batman. Why is the world upside down? Why is black called white and white called black? Why is yes called no and no called yes? Why are the deceivers so active in deceiving you? Uh, Lady Paranorma says that she's worked through a lot and more to go. I've done my work, man. I'm done. I've cleansed myself of all karma. I've broken free of the chains of the zodiac. I've worked through all of the prime elements, and I've directly communed with the Godhead and the octahedron. My slate is clean. If I were to pass right now, the Egyptian god Mot would come out and he'd take out the feather and he'd say, "Motherfucker, you done good. Get on in there. Heaven is yours." So I have no apprehensions. That doesn't mean I want to die by any means. I want to I want to live as long as I like to, and I want to like to as long as I live. And that'll be good enough for me, man. And the other thing is, since I've studied magic and hermetic science and divination quite well in this lifetime, it means that I can avoid making any big mistakes for the rest of my life, which is good news, right? That's good news. I don't have to make any more big mistakes. He might be a little angry till I sort the present, but I'm doing my best. Better than most. That's good. It's not that hard. Be sincere. All it takes is a sincere and earnest heart. Um, do your supplications, do your adorations, do your obsequies, burn some nice joss stick, say your prayers, do whatever, meditation, whatever you think. As I suggested to you in the past, if you want to work through all the chains of this world, of all the chains in the prime material plane that are trying to bind you, start with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Go to the four quarters every day and banish the elements and summon your archangels. That's good. Don't be letting them fools get in a word edgewise. I can appreciate that. There's so much absolute sensationalism and garbage on the internet these days. Like, people constantly fighting with each other. It's like they don't sit down and take a minute to contemplate the eternal reality, and they don't contemplate the fellowship of mankind, and they get embroiled in petty bickering and pop shots and ad hominem attacks, and it's all just absolute garbage. But I dubbed it, and everyone knows it, but I dubbed it the Jerry Springer effect, right? It's really what people get into. It really gets them off. Like there's a couple of cats on the internet that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. They're sitting there listening to people fight and jerking off. And I think, man, y'all some sick motherfuckers. Truly sick. But yeah, it's what they do. It's what gets them off. They're like feeding on the loosh. I've tried to interact a little bit here on their panel verses and stuff, and they're just brutal to each other. Um, Actually, like among all of them, like I've hung out with Jack Talcott a little bit on his panel chat. If you guys don't know Jack, definitely look him up. He streams every day for like an hour, 2 hours. And as long as you approach him with kindness and sincerity, he's got a good feedback loop, right? He's a very earnest and genuine person. Sure, he's been accused of a lot of bad things, and he lets a lot of fucking assholes and idiots and basket case people on his stream, but for the most part, he's a pretty level-headed dude. Oh, another good one is Ironwork 92,000. He's a fact Earth guy, not flat Earth, but factual Earth. He likes to investigate things. You can get him interested in the paranormal and magic and qigong and stuff like that. He likes that shit too. He's a very level-headed dude. It is. It's Tuesday evening. Piglet 69. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, Piglet. Is that your name? I see Piglet 69. So yeah, Piglet. The other guy I won't mention, Lady Paranorma. You asked me in the Discord a while back about a certain individual. If you're interested in finding his channel, you can find it. But I'm never going to mention the motherfucker's name again. He's like Voldemort, right? He who shall not be named. Hey, gyrating Benihana. We got a K drop gyrate Benihana. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. It's PG. Okay. Okay, I'll just call you Piglet. Do you like that name? It looks like your icon looks like a little baby pig, too. Yeah, he who shall not be named. And I get that advice from Frank Sinatra. You guys know Frank Sinatra? Um, I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got the string around my finger. Oh, what a wonderful world. Yeah, he said that anytime you mention your lessers, people, the haters gonna hate. That's what they do. It's in the name. Naysayers gonna say nay. Again, it's their job. That's why they're called naysayers. He said, anytime you mention them by name, you're polishing their shoes. You're getting down on your hands and fucking knees and you're polishing their shoes by mentioning them. So anyone who has done me wrong like that in the past, I will just I ain't gonna mention them. Ain't got no time for that. Ain't nobody got no time for that, right? That's when you just got to sing the old Frank Money. Get on up out the way, bitch. I said, get on up out the way. I said, move your big old fat ass out my way, bitch. Cause I'm coming through and I'm moving and I'm grooving and I'm jamming to the tunes of get on up, get on up out the way, get on up, get on up, get on up out the way. Hey, bro, what's up? What's up, KGB? Jedi Knight. Never show no weakness. That's right. Just don't fucking interact with them. Petty people gonna be petty. That's what, it's in the name, baby. I mention names into the darkness of my basement. I don't even fucking mention their names at all. I disperse them. I send the minions of the Dark Lord after them. If they're really a pain in the ass, then I will use some dark magic to, make them disappear from this realm. Send them into the clip off. Hey, you, Lady Paranormal, only keep coming in. Yeah, we got some internet tourists stopping by to say hello. They're in the door and then out the door. They come through the same door that they leave through, right? Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, right? Announce your flight as you go. Clear the runway, everybody. Got internet tourists coming and going. We've been broadcasting for an hour. There's probably been 100 people in and out of the room, checking it out, seeing what's going on, peeking in, have a little looka. Those are called, my father used to call those looky-loos. They're just people that come by that look, and if you interact with them, you will lose. They were the looky-loos. They're just there to look and touch and case the joint, to squeeze the melons. But they're not going to buy nothing. They're not going to drop no coin. They might drop some product on the floor and then run, or stick something down their pants and then run. But just looky-loos. Like Dreamer. Dreamer says, black magic, I'm out. Yeah, hit the fucking road, man. It's right there. There's the fucking door. Clear the runway, everybody. We've got a flight announced. Dreamer is fucking taking off. Departures announced. 5252. Yeah, it's good to say less, but obviously on a live stream, you have to talk, you have to entertain the people. People are here for entertainment, they're here for sensationalism, they're here to hear the big story. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. That's a fact. You got that right. Yeah, I ain't worried about that. Dreamer tuned in for 30 seconds and said, oh my God, he mentioned black magic. Yeah, I like my magic like I like my coffee, strong and black. Obviously, according to Hermetic Sciences, there really isn't anything considered black magic. There's nature magic, which we would call green magic, right? Then there's the magic of the mechanized world, which is orange magic, the sphere of Hod. Angelic magic would be gold at Tifereth, right? And you would use the Christ consciousness for that. Then there's war magic at Gevura, it's red magic. There's blessed healing magic, it's blue, it's at Hesed, the sphere of Hesed, and the planetary sphere of Jupiter. And then there's just Satanism, right? Satyrian, Saturnalian magic, magic of the Dark Mother, Lilith. Which is all right, if that's the path you want to follow. And sometimes you need to do you. Sometimes you do need to go down that path. Yeah, I follow the purple path, the path of the wizard. Deep. We lost power again. Can you hear me? Yes? No? How's the volume? Give me fives if we got the volume. 555. No? Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the transmission. Ladies and gentlemen, wizard, warrior, wanderer, wayfarer, and wildcat alike, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you may be receiving this transmission, please hit the likes and subscribe. Yeah, I got to keep switching my earbuds because they keep dying every 10 fucking minutes. Good fools and tools. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lady Paranorma, Frau Schadenfreude. Good to see both of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the likes. You two are the only two that have hit the like button. It shows me right up there in the corner. It says that 2 people have hit the like button, and hundreds of internet tourists have come and gone and don't even have the fucking common courtesy to give you a reach around. You know, they're the type of people that would fuck you in the ass and wouldn't even have the decency to give you a reach around. Oh, you know Fools and Tools? Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's good. You know, they might be looking for content to clip and, maybe later make fun of me and say, look at this fucking asshole. Look at this idiot. Because, they make content like that. Some of them, they benefit from it. Their audiences tune in daily, 10 to 12 hours a day, keyboard warrioring like this. It's so funny. Look at him. What a fucking flip. It's like, good God, man. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't become terminally online. I like to get online with you guys. I'm just here to socialize. I don't have much of a social life now after the coup, right? The coup kind of killed everything in my community. It's opened back up now again, but it's like, yeah, do I want to go all through it again and build up everything from the fucking ground level all the way up again? It's like, yeah, actually I do at some point, but I'm ghosting and grinding. I'm ghosting, I'm grinding on my career, and I'm ghosting the world because they created an absolute shit show. And if you want people to participate in society, to any given extent, then you can't fuck around like that. Hurt people, try to lord it over people, try to bully them. Nobody's gonna fucking tolerate that. Because sometimes push gets down to shove, and it becomes a situation of kill or be killed. And I don't want to be pushed into a corner. I don't want to fucking hurt nobody. But if you're gonna push me, you can only push me so far, and then you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck her up and find out. Did you guys see that video I posted the other day of a little baby female deer attacking a dude? Like, this was literally like a little girl deer, like probably less than a year old, and she was attacking like a dread-headed vegan dude, like a hippie. He was out there in the yard. I think he probably tried to fuck her or something. He's out there eating his tofu burger, drinking his soy milk, rubbing his neck beard. And he probably saw that little doe ass, and he's like, I could probably run over there and fuck that deer one time. And he ran over there with his 5.5 inch hard on and tried to stuff it in there. And that deer was like, I ain't having it. Boom! Kicked him and then started attacking him. And she didn't even have any horns. She's a little baby deer. She just fucking bullied a 6-foot man. Yeah, that was some funny ass shit, man. He did have some bad juju. Something wrong with that motherfucker. Tofu burgers and soy milk weren't helping him in any way. And people say that all the time. They're, oh, I'm vegetarian, don't hurt the animals. Namaste, peace and happiness. It's like, motherfucker, you go into nature one time. A squirrel will eat your fucking brain right out of your head. The fish will swim up your butt and eat you from the inside. There ain't a single fucking creature in this prime material plane that would not turn you into dinner in a heartbeat, because that's life. Um, this motherfucking chicken. Have you ever seen a chicken in the yard? These motherfuckers will attack you in a heartbeat. They don't give a fuck. They will peck at you. They will scratch at you. Motherfucking rooster will fly across the yard and kick you in the ass, man. And then he'd get you down on the ground, and all the other fucking chickens come up and pick your fucking eyeballs out. I don't know what the fuck kind of namaste horse shit you're promoting by not having a steak or a chicken breast. What's the matter with you, you stupid? Again, Rudolf Steiner. Um, yeah, when you have peace in your heart, wild animals won't attack you. I've been out there. I've seen wolves and dogs and mountain lions and rattlesnakes, and they don't attack me because I'm a man of Tao. But I'll sort of motherfucking cut their head off and throw them on the grill, baby. But the truth of nature is that there's a natural cycle of energy, and the sun comes down and radiates its life-giving principles into the grasses and the bushes, and they grow up and they pull the energy out of the earth. And then the animals come along and they grind at those herbs and grasses, and they transform them into a product that's more easily assimilated by human beings, which is animal flesh. This is meant for us. The entire fucking cosmos is working to produce this for you to stick it in your mouth and eat it. It's better than the rices and grains. It's better than the grasses. When prepared in the right way, it's the most beneficial thing for you. And even full of steroids and traumatized hormones and all of that, it's still better than a fucking grass burger. It's a level up, baby. If you want to level up, you've got to be a carnivore. Now, I'm not saying you need to be entirely carnivore. And as you get older, you need less and less of that animal protein. But from like 10 to 60, you absolutely have to intake animal proteins and a good deal of it. Before 10, you can do better on just like leafy vegetables and fruits and mother's milk and this kind of thing. But once you get your adult teeth, you're meant to fucking take in that animal protein until your fucking animal teeth fall out. Then you should return to like herb steeped grains and rice gruel and porridge and this kind of thing. If you want to live to 100, you got to get into eating just boiled foods, right? Yeah, the body absolutely needs the animal proteins. I tried vegetarian for 1 year. My brother did 2 years, and it was horseshit. It just absolutely doesn't work. The monks don't even like it. You know, you get around the monks up in the Buddhist temples here and shit, and they eat vegetarian food. They're like, I've been on it for 7 years. You know, my joints hurt. You know, they might have good fighting bodies because they train fighting every day. You know, and they can maintain weight and energy. But they'll tell you straight up. They'll be like, don't become a monk and a vegetarian. It's not good for you. You won't produce any chi. You're just not going to have any power or life force in you. So yeah, it just didn't there. There's one big flat Earth guy here on the internet, Eric Dubé. Maybe you guys know him. He's done a lot of popular flat Earth videos. He advocates vegetarianism endlessly, and he tries to go about it in an intellectual way. You know, here are the reasons why. Here are the reasons for this. I'm pinching my nipples, baby. Come on over and be a vegetarian. And you take one look at him, and he's completely devoid of spirit. He just doesn't have any chi. There's no vitality in him. He's suffering, and he's suffering. He's going through those endless samahara or whatever. What do they call them? The Indian word for it. Those hell states. These guys that claim the hell realm. They're like, oh, we're all in a hell realm. Everything's raised in shit. You know, they're endlessly suffering. They're like strapped to the wheel of torment. You know, and the wheel of torment has them strapped on it, and it turns and they get dunked in the water of sewage, and they have to breathe and suck in the sewage of the toilet. And then as soon as they get up out of the toilet of sewage, then they're in the scorching, blazing desert sun, and their flesh is roasting, and everyone's crying out in agony. And as soon as they see the waters of relief, bam, they're plunged back into the putrid, uh, fucking oozing, dank, acidic sewage of the asshole of the world once again. And they endlessly go around in this cycle. They can't alleviate their suffering because they truly believe that the world is suffering. Yeah, samsara, is that what you call it? And so they strap themselves to this concept, this idea of life as suffering. And as a result, that's what whatever you believe to be true is true, at least for you. Because your mind isn't going to allow you to believe that you're insane, right? So if you truly believe in something like samsara and being on the wheel of suffering, into the sewage, down in the septic tank, and then up into the fiery hellfires of life over and over and over again, then your mind has to analyze all data around you as if that is 100% true. And there's going to be very little that can break through that matrix that you've created around yourself, right? So if you look for problems, you're going to find a million fucking problems. If you look for solutions and good things in life, right, you're going to find a million of those. So you're going to find whatever you're looking for. It has to do with the reticular activating system in the mind. You think, oh, there's a lot of goodness in the world, man. Flowers are blooming, big old fat asses running around. I'm gonna go out there and watch some boobies jiggling, and enjoy some life. Read some fucking good philosophy, have myself a wonderful chicken breast, practice, fucking few hours of kung fu, maybe get in a nice fist fight, and enjoy life. Then that's what you're gonna find. You're gonna find it every single day. You're gonna breathe. You're going to think and love and speak and act as if you're a member of like a universal brotherhood and sisterhood, right? A universal fellowship of humanity that's getting shit done, that's out there fucking getting it, nose to the grindstone, um, getting in your licks, doing your fucking reps. Absolutely. Axis, I saw Axis. Hey, Axis, who's Axis? Is Axis Rat Blood in here? I don't see him. Who are you talking about? Who's Axis? Okay, Axis Rat Blood. Well, yo, what up, motherfucker? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I would say hello, but I can't read your name. That strange name right there, like TMB. That is Frau Schadenfreude or Lady Paranorma. Sorry, fools, I'm leery of certain sectors, and I can't tell you who's a jerk and who's not. No, Axis Rat Blood, he's good people. Welcome to the chat, man. Good to see you out there. Once again in Happy Land, y'all good looking, sexy people. Frank Monday transmitting on a Tuesday evening. Having myself a little Weiss beer. Ich merken sehr. Ich, ich, ich merkte the Weissbier sehr gut. My German is getting a little better, guys. It's fucking hard coming, but I've been studying. One of my New Year's resolutions this year was to improve my German, and I have made gains. I have made gains. Wo ist die Beethovenstraße, bitte? I ein Weinstein, fünf, sieben, seven, acht, neben, 10. Got my counting to 10 back. Let's see, what else do I got? Yeah, I got a bunch of German, but I've been trying to work on it a little bit each day. Yeah, no, I don't think it's better than yours, but it is getting better. Let's see, I learned a new word today. Iterricht. Unterricht. Unterricht. Um, hat, hat du Unterricht? Do you have class? Hat der Unterricht? I'll have to look at and hot. Is it hot or hotst? Hot, hot du gut Geld? Hot du Geld? Do you have money? You got any money? Unterricht is class. But yeah, I'll figure it out, man. I just learned those were a couple of new words that I added to my vocabulary. Today I added a few new words to my vocabulary and a couple of new grammar structures. But yeah, it's going to be slow going. I'm in no hurry. My German has notoriously been bad for a long time, but it will get better this year. 2025 is the year to get it done, to improve your German, your Deutscher. Fun. Wish I could speak Japanese or Chinese so I can make it through my movies without having to read them. Yeah, that's good fun. My Chinese is fucking muy bueno. Mi español is no muy bueno. It's bueno por nada, bueno por chit. But my Chinese, my Chinoese, is very very good. Been working on that shit for 30 years though, 30 plus years. And even my Chinese, I'm doing some revision of my Chinese studies. See, the way I'm going about it now is I have books in basic German, but they're for Chinese students. So I'm using Chinese to learn German, and my German teacher is Chinese. So I'm learning German via the Chinese language, which makes it a little more fun. Fools and Tools says that he's dyslexic and a Greek in Australia have problems with my words and pronouncing words. I get tongue tied. Wish I could learn different languages. I mean, we all say this, right? I wish I could do that. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. Your wish is my command. Abrahadabra. All you got to do, all you need to do is ask. Don't wish, ask. ASK. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. All right. Abracadabra. You definitely can. You can learn any language you want, man. The Pimsleur method is really good. Pimsleur, Pimsleur, Pimsleur. Audio tapes, you can just download them, listen to them 30 minutes a day. You can learn any language you want at a conversational level quick, like in a month. In 1 month, you can be actively speaking a new language of any choice. 30 minutes a day for 30 days, and you can do it. You can get through all three levels in 100 days. You do the 100-day challenge, the Pimsleur method, it's 3 levels of language learning, 30 minutes a day for 30 days, level one, 30 days for level two, 30 days for level three, and you will be speaking at a pretty high conversational level by the end of 3 months. It's absolutely achievable. Just set yourself a time clock and say, hey, I'm going to do one Pimsleur lesson a day. I'm going to throw it in the MP3 or the audio file or whatever and just fucking stick to it. Day one, write it out on your calendar. Listen to your lesson, check it off. Listen to your lesson, check it off. Absolutely. That's where I got my start in many languages. I refreshed all my Spanish. I went through Hebrew. I went through 10 of the Hebrew lessons. I think they only have 10 in Hebrew. I went through the entire Cantonese file. I went through the French file, the German file, the Japanese file. Japanese, I went through levels one and two. So I can say stuff like sumimasen, but it all starts to blend together at some point. Perdóname, desculpame, entschuldigen Sie, sumimasen, 老家, uh, so on and so on, right? So that was 5 or 6 different languages just saying excuse me, right? So you can do that. Poquito, idian, itiar, ambition. Um, what's the Japanese for a little bit? Squishy. Uh, yeah. So you start to blend, and once you get up, I think once you start learning a third language by way of your second language, then you can more easily get up to 4 or 5 languages. I'm a firm believer in the 100-day challenge. I promote the 100-day challenge here on the Frank Monday channel. I think that if you can do 100 days of a single focused activity, then you can do it for the rest of your life. And that's not 6 months. Most people will say it takes 6 months, but I believe, yeah, 3 months. I believe 3 months is key. If you can get past 60 days, then it becomes easy. And then if you can make it into the 90 and the 100-day challenge, if you can do the 100-day challenge, you can continue that practice for the rest of your life. Like then your endeavor will become a dedicated hobby. Like you'll do it every day. Like I do language learning every day, something I practice every day. I do Kung Fu and Qigong every day. I do magic every day. I think about philosophy and Hermetic science every day. Um, I engage the heart in a romantic endeavor every day. Are we back? Can you hear me? 5 by 5. Hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 5 by 5. Are we back? Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. My name is Edie Amin. All right, good job. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. The chat was a little slow in response, but I can see that now. Good looking out. I certainly appreciate that. Wow, that beer was really good. I'll promote that one. That was a Polner from München, Germany. It says that it's a Weiss beer, which is a wheat beer, I guess. And yeah, find your way or you'll find an excuse. I agree with that. Uh, Honestly, though, I don't really like anything wheat, like wheat bread, wheat beer. I find it hard to digest for some reason. Like I'm a white bread kind of motherfucker, right? I mean, look at me. I'm a white bread dude. And so like I could eat white bread all day long and it don't do shit. It's great. It's wonderful. I can digest it quite easily. But when I get like into heavy wheat breads and grain breads and stuff like that, unless they're really made with like pure organic materials and nuts and seeds and dried fruit and shit, I can't digest that shit. I have a real fucking hard time with wheat. I don't know what's up with that. Which I shouldn't. Like my people were all um, born and bred and raised on wheat for generations after generations, right? 555, you can hear me. I can hear you too. Good looking out, fools and tools. Take a deep breath with me, guys, and relax. Oh, command yourself to relax. You should begin your meditation with a eye fixation point across from you, slightly above eye level, about little more than arm's length in front of you. So imagine like 3 feet to a meter in front of you, a wall. You could put a dot there. You could just find a point, get that eye fixation point and draw your attention to it. And then take a nice, relaxing, deep breath in, hold it for a moment, focusing on that point. And as you exhale, let your eyes close and relax. But keep that eye fixation point in mind. See, this first step is how you train your eyes to stay looking at the third eye region in the mind as you go into meditation. So inhale, look at the eye fixation point, and then pull the energy in, then exhale and close the eyes. But keep staring at that eye fixation point as you close your eyes. Do this 3 times and train the energy to arrive at that point as you go into meditation. As you go into meditation, you take that eye fixation point and you transfigure it into a symbol. You could use a flickering bright star, right? You could use a luminous pearl. Yeah. You could use a diamond, a sapphire. You could use the Tai Chi symbol. You could use a triangle, right, with a swirl in the middle, whatever you like. But you want to make it genuine. You want to transfer from the visual, tangible world to the realm of darkness and darkness within darkness, and then bring light into the darkness. This sigil can help power your goals, your dreams, and give you the additional spiritual power that you need to achieve them. You should formulate this idea into some inner visualization that's relevant to you, right? Inhale again. Each time you feel like you might lose focus or concentration, take another deep breath and do it again. Eye fixation point, relax. After taking a few deep, relaxing breaths to center the body, then just continue natural rhythmic breathing to the belly. Now, belly breathing can go one of two ways. You can do a lot of belly breathing and it can make you develop a big fat Santa Claus belly, right? You'll notice that a lot of men who are wealthy and happy in life will develop a big Santa Claus belly, right? That's not that's okay. We call it the Buddha belly, right? And it does indicate wealth of spirit and material wealth, and it indicates a lot of happiness as well. That person will enjoy a lot of satisfaction in life. But yeah, do your coffee thing, lady. Schadenfreude. See you momentarily. Not to worry. But in the system of Tao that I practice, we do the belly breathing, but we hold the pressure at the Dantian level. So imagine from the upper diaphragm, the one that's below the sternum, there's an upper diaphragm here, and then there's a lower diaphragm here below the belly button. And we maintain what's called the iron body, or we maintain the presence of chi pressure on this area as we take a deep breath. So that area of the belly stays flat, and it's underneath that expands around the spine, and what we call in Hebrew the gate of Yesod, the gate of the astral realm, the sexual psychic the psychosexual energy center of the body. So that way you won't develop a big Santa Claus belly, right? You'll maintain a flat tummy. And so it's up to you, right? If you're not worried about that, you can just let it all hang out, right? And all of the energy will develop into a giant Santa Claus belly. Okay, so you sit erect on your chair, legs at a 90-degree angle, hands on top of your knees, shoulders relaxed and back, head upright, chin slightly tucked down, teeth clenched, tongue pushed to the roof of the mouth, eyes at an eye fixation point slightly above eye level, a little more than an arm length in front of the body. You inhale. And exhale. Natural rhythmic breathing, the iron body chi shield over the lower dantian, maintaining correct posture, swallowing each time the mouth fills with saliva. Click the teeth a few times to stimulate the bones. That's step one. When you finish your meditation, just do that. Just generate that energy first. When you finish your meditation, pound your body a little bit, pound the head, and then hold the hands at the heart center and breathe for a few breaths, as many as you like, a few moments or a few minutes, and gather the chi back to the center area, the breast, the Christ consciousness after you're done doing your meditation. If you can't do step one for 33 days, you got no business moving on to step two. Do this first step in the psychic pathways of the psionics. Coming up, we're going to begin on March 22nd. I'm trying to read the chat, guys, but the text is a little bit small for my eyes these days, so it's kind of hard. You have to go ahead and write it in all caps. If you want me to see something in the chat, then write it in all caps and I'll respond to it. If it's a question, I'll respond to it. If it's just a comment, I may or may not respond to it. It's up to you. It depends on if you're making a comment that requires being responded to, so on and so forth, et cetera, on and on without end. All right, so one of the first hypnotic techniques that you can use to break from trance. Name a car for an edit. I don't exactly know what that means. Um, Arthur Rahani says Lamborghini. No, for me, it would be the 1969 Camaro Rally Sport by Chevrolet. That would be, I had that car when I was 16 years old. That was the first car I owned. I owned a 1969 Camaro RS, not an SS, not a super sport, a rally sport. It had posi traction. It had a 4-barrel Holley carb. It had like a racing intake manifold. It had an 8-track player radio. That motherfucker it was like a crimson kind of auburn red. What would that color be called? And it had gold flake in the paint. That was the most beautiful car I've ever seen in my entire life. I had it for 6 months. It was actually my brother's car, but my older brother, but he traded me because my dad gave me a 914 Porsche, a poor man's Porsche. And he wanted that Porsche, and the Camaro didn't run. And so I traded him for the Camaro straight across, title for title, pink slip for pink slip. And my uncle helped me rebuild the engine. It was a 350 small block V8, and my uncle helped me. We tore everything off. We replaced all of the gaskets. He tuned up the carburetor. I think we replaced the carburetor. He got me a carburetor. He drove up to Compton and bought me a secondhand carburetor. Got a good deal on it, and we put new tires on it, and we got it running. And then he took the title and signed it back over to himself and sold the car 6 months later, right out from underneath me. And I pissed and moaned and I complained about it, and I think I even cried. And I told my dad, we gotta fucking file charges. He fucking put my signature on this fraud. That's a felony. And my dad's like, yeah, I'll just get you another car. Don't worry about it. And yeah, that was horse shit. But I had that car for 6 months. I only got to drive it for about 6 weeks. It took us most of that time to repair it, to rebuild the engine in the garage. And then when we finally got it running, vroom, vroom, God, what a beautiful car, man. And then I got out there and I tore it up on the streets a little bit, drove it around. Girlfriend loved it, got her in the fucking car. Next girlfriend loved it. Girlfriend after that loved it. As soon as I had that motherfucker running, every girl in the neighborhood wanted to ride to school each day. And yeah, you become very popular when you got a nice car like that. Anyways, that was short lived. So I had it the summer of my 11th grade year, and then I had it for like the first month of my senior year in high school. And then I woke up one morning and I was going out there to jump in it, and the keys weren't on my desk. And I went out there. And I'm like, what the fuck? My car's gone. I ran in there. I told my dad, you know, oh, what's up? And then I went in, and it wasn't until like, I don't know, much later that I went and looked for the title, and the title was gone. That bastard stole everything in our family, man. He robbed everyone at every point. Everyone got robbed by that motherfucker at some point. And he got away with it 90% of the time, man. And last time I saw him in 2017, and he was still doing the same fucking thing. So I'm 54. That means he's 66, and he's still scamming and hustling and running businesses and bankrupting businesses, and he's still up to his old fucking tricks, man. Not a single fucking that dude hasn't missed a beat. Not a single thing has changed with him. Unfucking believable. He keeps going from poor to rich, and then dropping it all at the casino, and then doing it all over again. Rinse and repeat, man. I appreciate that, Axis Rack Blood. Good to see you again, man. Praise hate. All hail the fucking Hales Angels out there at the Brass Lantern down in Santee, San Diego. All hail to the fucking guys over at the Viper Club off Sunset in Hollywood. All hail to all y'all good looking, sexy people out there in Happy Land. All hail to Iguanas down in Tijuana. I'm sure you played there, Axis Rap Blood down in at Iguanas in Tijuana. LA Coliseum. Shout out Long Beach Coliseum. Long Beach Stadium Coliseum. Shout out to Del Mar Fairgrounds. Y'all good looking, sexy people out there fucking rocking out in the 80s and 90s. I love y'all good looking, sexy people. I'm going to roll too. I got shit to do. I'm working on my second beer here, and I got to get some sleep. It's 8:47. I usually go to sleep about 9:30, guys. I'm going to take a quick shower and hit the fucking hay. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks for accompanying old Frank Monday through another transmission. Like and subscribe, all that happy horseshit. You guys go over and check out Axis Rap Blood. Hang out with him for a while. Lady Schadenfreude, Frost Schadenfreude, if you want to hang out with me here in a little while, maybe I'll jump back on and we can open a room and chat. The rest of you good looking, sexy people, keep on, keeping on, keep doing good magic, keep your nose to the grindstone, pep in your step, jelly in your donut, all that happy horseshit. And until next time, ad astra per aspera, as we wander into the abodes of the future. No se te ipsum, do good magic.